I'm Santosh, and today's topic it's going to be the PNPM, a not so new package manager. And these are my Twitter and LinkedIn handles. I'm pretty much active there. And I work for this company called Rubrik as a software engineer, mostly on the UI infra sometimes. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it. Improving the performance, like say getting into the network tab and seeing which bundle is taking more time, trying to reduce the size of the bundle or maybe chunking it down more. Maybe focus more on what can improve the like say the uh, page load time faster. These are my everyday work. Yeah, having said that, this package manager PNPM is not so new. Uh, like say, how many of you use package manager? Oh, what kind of a dumb question is it, right? So everybody, yeah, it's a React meetup and nothing works without packages, and pretty much the entire ecosystem is in open source and packages are bread and butter for each and every React dev. Basically, I will just take a minute to start with advertising my company. Maybe next time when I prepare for this meetups, I will get half a day of time to spend. Maybe yeah. Basically, we secure the workloads that are running in your data centers or even in your clouds or whatever it is. Like say, you don't want to have a backup admin who takes care of backing up at a particular interval of time or so on and so forth. You configure it, forget about it. And when there is some ransomware attack or something like a disaster which happens to your actual data, you can just get it out within a minute with using Rubrik. Let's get started. Yeah, as I said, it's not so new. It's just the first release. You can just see it. It's in 2016 August. And let's just see the like say how it got evolved. No, how we got evolved from the monkeys, apes, whatever, Neanderthals. Yeah. So basically, like from the npm 2, we got forked off IED. You can just see that repository is still alive. No, there is no maintenance, but still you can see the GitHub repository. That is a package manager that is meant for concurrent resolving of packages. You can just check it out. That is forked from npm 2, and this PNPM has some npm 3 related changes also, but not completely. But PNPM is like a fork from that. And Yarn, most probably many of the people would have used it. Yeah, maybe let's just have a quick look at the comparison. No? Like say the topmost line is the npm which has the most popularity, and like this shows the downloads, the number of downloads that has happened over the period of time. And the second line is Yarn, and the third one is PNPM. And like say from 2016, it is a very shallow curve for PNPM, and it has started getting the traction since the last few years, and you can see that exponential growth. And this I feel is because of the problems that we faced from Yarn and npm has increased a lot over the period of time. I will go through like say what are the problems that these package managers, the old ones, has, and not old, like the peer ones have, and how the PNPM solves it. And yeah, so basically, right, this PNPM is not a new one. It has been there for so long, and the architecture, how it handles this node modules folder is what very cheeky. I liked it so much, and it's very cute, I would say. And this npm, like I hate it, dude. I do not know how many of you hate it. I hate npm a lot. And like see, npm is like the official package manager by node.js for so many years now. And like say Yarn, it is developed by Facebook, and it is now maintained by the open source community. And since it is a pretty big company back, so it has a lot of traction with marketing and so on and so forth. They called it so fast, but it is not as fast as they said it should be or it would be. But this PNPM is really fast. trust me, just give it a try. Just try to uninstall your existing package managers, or maybe keep it with core pack. Node.js has something called core pack, where you can just specify the package manager that you're going to use. Try it out, dude. Like, core pack is so cool, but it's experimental. Don't use it in production. Don't get fired. Yeah, but yeah, it's experimental. Just try it out in your local machine. Just try to use multiple package managers here and there, but just give it a try to this PNPM. It's so good. With Yarn being like that, PNPM, who's backing that? PNPM didn't haven't been backed up by a pretty huge company till for, like, say, recent years. Recently, bit.dev has like, say, given a lot of support for PNPM. How many of you know about this bit.dev? It's a cool project, yeah. Like, say, it's open source. Cool. Yeah, nice one. So basically, just give it a try. So basically, it doesn't require Git, it doesn't require package managers, it doesn't require Babel for transpiling, it doesn't require any webpack or something like bundlers. Nothing. You require nothing. You just require bit.dev and that's it. Like, but again, it has a paid version and the open source version. I do not know whether it has all the features, but just maybe explore it. Using it or not, that will be a separate deal. But bit.dev is a good project. You can just give it a try. They are supporting it and they are internally using PNPM a lot. They are not using a direct PNPM package manager, but they have something like a wrapper around it, but they support a lot of PNPM related stuff. So let's just see, like, what is PNPM? It's just performant NPM, just that. And there is one open source contributor is very active, and he's the one who termed this name. And like, say, they call it as the first or fast disk space efficient package manager. So if you take the IED, which was the previous fork of NPM2, it is just focused on the speed, the fastness. But this one has two problem solutions, and those are, one is regarding the speed and another one is regarding the space utilization. You know how hard it is to have that node modules in your thing, like, say, in your machine. You just think of deleting it and it takes years to delete even, and copying is never in the picture at all. Come on. And yeah, so basically the structure of the node modules has changed. We will see each one of them later, but just get to know the terms. There is something called hoisted node modules. The PNPM has come up with isolated node modules and caching mechanism. There was a version based caching, and here it has content addressable storage. Dependency installation, it was synchronous before, stage based, and now it has become more async. Just quickly, guys, 5 more minutes, I will just get it done. This hoisted node modules, right? This is a pretty important problem. You will not face it like, until or unless, like, say, you have a bad day or do something like that, right? So basically, just see the structure of the node modules, right? Like, say, how the folder looks like. When I install Express, so let's consider the left side is I'm using npm, the right side I'm using PNPM, right? So left side I have the dependency Express, just Express, right? It's like a node server. You can just read about it. It's a good one. And yeah, so basically I write it, and you can see all these dependencies are added automatically. So, and it's added in a flat hierarchy, right? You see, everything will be inside the node modules. How it happens? This is called transitive dependencies. I install Express, and Express may have something like cookie, and cookie may have something like cookie signature, and it goes on, and everything comes under the flat hierarchy. So now what happens is, let's come to the PNPM later, but let's see what will be the problem, right? So the problem is, like, here, if I do import cookie from cookie, it will work in case of npm. But PNPM, it will throw error, but I will tell you why later. But just think of tomorrow if Express stops using this cookie. Okay, so initially you will not face any trouble. Everything will work fine locally. You go to the production, everything will work. But once you upgrade something, some change happens, done. And the thing is, and you do not have any control over what version of the library is using. And maybe you just check out, like, say, some of my previous talks around this node modules, the problem around the security vulnerability, which I was given in the same React meetup like maybe a couple of months ago. So just check it out. Like say you have vulnerability in the open source ecosystem, and with these kind of unknown, like running unknown scripts in your local machine, you will get like say unimaginable security problems, right? So yeah, I do not agree with data privacy thing that he told, but anyway, yeah, I am just so cautious about my data. Let's see how this isolated node modules work, right? What happens is with PNPM, the node module structure changes like this, right? So basically, I have a Express, and from Express internally, that Express folder in the node modules will not have anything. It is just a sim link, right? It's just a sim link, system link, and symbolic link. Sorry, it's a symbolic link, and that will be in like the actual Express folder will be inside the PNPM .pnpm, right? And all the transitive dependencies like cookie and everything will go under that particular folder in which the Express actually resides. And that cookie will not have that cookie folder inside the Express will not be the actual folder where the code is there. It will again be a symbolic link to the actual cookie folder in the PNPM repository, like the folder. So the flat hierarchy is maintained, but the nested uh, structure of the symbolic links creates you a safer environment. So now if you do something like import cookie from cookie, you will be thrown error because the node modules folder doesn't have that cookie, right? This is clear, right? Am I clear, guys? So this is a pretty cool or a pretty worst or dumb bug that we had in npm, but we are not having it in pnpm, right? So it's a very cool one, and let's just think about it once again, right? Say let's consider I have some version of it here, some version of some package here, and that is vulnerable, and I have no control about it if it is a npm thing, right? I just go do import cookie from cookie. It can steal your cookie and then send it to some other page. I have no control over it, but now I clearly need to specify which version of the package I'm using, which package I'm using, and then only I will be able to use it. And you will not have any these kind of dumb bugs, and you don't want to spend your time or spend your Friday night in this. Yeah, let's just see how it helps in the monorepo architecture. So don't ask me like say why would you go for a monorepo with multiple packages inside. There is some possible examples, yeah. So basically when you have a monorepo which has packages inside, and it should be able to used by some external parties also, in that case you definitely need packages inside your monorepo. So basically I can see a lot of people come up with this kind of questions like say it's a monorepo and why do you want to have packages there? You can just write everything in a single React app, right? So but still if you want some packages to be available for the external parties to be consuming it, so we will just go with the monorepo with packages thing inside it. But now see here in with npm, right? What happens is like say the the node modules folder will have dependencies of foo and dependencies of bar. Foo and bar are two packages which are like I am writing, right, inside that monorepo, and all the dependencies are coming inside that node modules folder, and it's pretty easy for us to just get into that kind of a bug where I import a foo related package inside a bar package, right? And in case of PNPM, that is segregated separately. The foo dependencies and the bar dependencies are segregated separately. And what happens is you will not be able to import the dependencies of bar inside foo or the vice versa, right? And this problem is pretty more like in a smaller size, or the number of instances will be very less, but still it will be hard to maintain when it comes to a pretty big complex React app. Say we have a pretty big React app and it has tons of code in it, and if we are not minding something like this, we will be in trouble, right? And let's just move on the disk space, right? I just love adding these slides. You can just see this slide in my like couple of talks also before. So basically I do not like the node modules. I hate it to the core more than I hate my ex. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so this is like the size of the node modules is so huge, dude. Like say you cannot compare it with any other. Like say you think of any. Maybe there are people who have worked on other languages also, right? Like say Java. Maybe you would have worked with Gradle or Maven, or people who have worked on Python would have worked on Pip, or any language. You take any package manager. This is the biggest folder that a package manager can build, right? So the next one, so how the PNPM solves it, right? So this has something like content addressable storage for each and every. So okay, I will tell you how the NPM does the caching, right? First, so basically, let's consider in NPM I have two packages of different versions, like Hello World 1.1, 1.0.0, or Hello World 1.1.0. So whatever it is, right? So it will never, like say, compare or think about what is the content inside the versions of whatever it is. It just copies the folder, it just downloads the folder. If the version is changing, I will keep it in my local machine, and then whenever I want, you can just create a symbolic link inside your project or whatever it is, right? So that is how it works. And but in case of PNPM, it goes through the content. It creates a hash for each and every content in the file. So if you see the three files, the index.js files, inside all the three versions of Hello World are the same. So PNPM doesn't care about what version it is. It creates a hash and then creates in the global store of PNPM in your local machine. It creates a hash file. That hash file will be used in all of these references. Okay, here are we using system links? Sorry, symbolic links. No, here we are not using symbolic links. We are using hard links. Maybe people who doesn't know, okay, maybe I will just give a glimpse of it. Maybe it is a separate topic which needs a separate lecture though, but yeah, I will just give a glimpse of it. So basically, like symbolic links are just like a mapping. You have one file path that will be mapped to some other file path, right? You don't care about what is there inside the file content. If you delete this, it's done, that's it. You modify the content, it doesn't care, it just executes that, right? And if there is any change in the metadata, say you are changing the file permissions, doesn't care, like say it will just execute. It just tries to execute the same file. It's just a mapping, right? But in case of hard links, it's a pretty different one. It's like it's a copy of the inode. Inode, uh, like say if you are from this POSIX file systems or operating systems, you would know that. So basically, inode is like a copy of or a mirror copy of all your file related data, like say the metadata, file permissions, who created it, the date of editing, all these things, right? And whatever you edit in the file A, which is like a mirror of file B, whatever you do here, that will be the copy of that, right? Like say there, like the content will not be copied, but the entire metadata and everything is like a copy of it. It's like, think of like a mirror kind of a thing where it's just a reflection of it, like not exactly the mm, it is a file, it's not just a mapping. I will just complete 2 minutes. Yeah, yeah, I know. Anyway, uh, let's get to the next one. Yeah, so basically if you see, try to visualize how it would be like in this structure. Like say I create project A and I create project B, and there is a lot of content which are like the same. It is just the pointers, the inodes will be present inside the project folder, and nothing else, right? No, nothing. And say for example, hard links I think will work for Windows, Mac and Linux. It's all good. Will work for Windows. I'm not so sure about it. Maybe you can Google it. But symbolic links, it will not work with Windows. Instead, there we use something called junctions. You can just search for it. You can find more about it. Yep. um, so what this slide, why I kept it is like say over the period of time when you create more and more projects, right? At the end, when you like say after some 40 project, 50 project, whatever the threshold is, the number of content you are actually downloading from the internet, or the number of content you are actually copying, or like say trying to replicate and then getting your node modules bigger and bigger in your machine, is not going to happen at all. It's just going to get your disk usage to zero. Like say I create the app, no other space is being occupied apart from my source code space, right? So that is what we are trying to achieve with PNPM. And the speed comparison, just look at the numbers. Like say the PNPM is the least, and yarn is somewhat near but not so much. Yarn PNP not so near, I see. But anyway, but yarn PNP is not so much adopted. Just think of that. These are the benchmarks that are provided in the PNPM, like say the site, and there is a link which has better, more visualization of these benchmarks. You can just check it out. And okay, so how we know it is faster, right? How it is faster? So basically, in the NPM world or in the YARN world, how it happens is first the package.json is resolved to package log.json or yarn log.json, whatever it is, and then the fetching happens. It downloads, and then again the linking, the symbolic links are created inside the node modules for NPM or YARN. But in case of PNPM, doesn't care. I will just have one package at once. Just get it resolved, get it fetched, get it in my local machine, get it in my project repository, symlink. That's it, and then I will go on for the next one. So, and these are like separate concurrent processes. Doesn't care about like say whether the other one is completed or not. And with this parallelization and the degree of parallelization that depends on your machine, it will be so fast. If you are running in an 8-core machine, you can expect this to be lightning fast. So just give it a try, guys. Like say, this is so cool, and we just migrated to PNPM recently, and we are loving it. And like we have a ton of dependencies and transitive dependencies in our React app, and we do use Monorepo. We have multiple packages in our React app, just all kind of complexity you want star on our app, and we were still able to migrate it with some minimized efforts, but still it is worth it. It increases the developer productivity a lot. uh, and that's it, guys. Thank you so much. I loved the crowd, seriously. I was able to see people standing over, like say when I came inside, like say at the end. But it was so cool. A lot of known faces, few unknown faces. I'm liking it, so loving it a lot. Any questions if you have, just like meet me offline. Kiran will kill me otherwise. Yeah, thank you so much. This is an interesting read. There is a FAQ, you can just check it out. This is like, you cannot find it in most of the other package managers or the other websites. This has a FAQ, and then just check it out. There are some interesting questions and answers as well. Thank you so much. Bye bye.